Alright lads, so in the midst of all the 7th anniversary news today, we have some pretty exciting news regarding the new Extreme Co-op updates. Because if you don't know, it has finally been updated. Extreme Co-op for a very, very long time, especially since the addition of 5 times Inheritance Trials and also 5 times Epic Raids. Extreme Co-op was simply far too outdated, especially because they gave us a lot of different game modes. Bro Quest, for example, the 6th anniversary Co-op event that we did have last year, where you could just get a bunch of editing brushes, further pushing the idea that there was no reason to ever really play Extreme Co-op. And that has now changed because Extreme Co-op has received a pretty big update. So let's talk about it. Before we do though, for those that aren't aware of what Extreme Co-op is, because there's a lot of new players playing this game, it's now worth pushing for, and that's why I want to explain it again. So Extreme Co-op, in the name, is an Extreme Co-op. It's a limited time event that is only currently on for 1 week in the entire month, and to get access to said event, you need to play Brave Battles. So now you have more of a reason to push in Brave Battles outside of, the new updated rewards that we did get sometime last month. You want to be in 3rd seat or above. Now there is a 7th seat Extreme Co-op, so you can play it a tad bit earlier, but it's still not really good, or it's not worth farming just for the drops, but it's still worth playing now just to get the medals for the new exchange shop. So if you are in 7th seat, it's still worth just trying it out just a tad bit to get some extra materials, but preferably you do want to push to 3rd seat so then you can get access to the harder Extreme Co-op where you get significantly better rewards. And within the Extreme Co-op quest, there are 2 types of enemies. Ones that are immune to range damage and ones that are immune to melee damage. So preferably you want to bring 2 range characters and 2 melee characters. But as always, you can always bring characters with Marauder or Sharpshooter that will just ignore the resistance and you can just have an easy time clearing it. For example, the 2 most popular characters you're going to see in this particular Extreme Co-op is going to be Arpik Ichigo and also the Spirits Arthur with Uretsu, as they both have Marauder and they can just hit anyone and they're going to be clearing very easy. Extreme Co-op isn't really that hard to begin with, but having those characters will definitely just make your quality of life of clearing said quests a lot easier. So what exactly changed in this new update? Well, as explained in the notes, is they increased the exchange amount for some items, they added large attribute scrolls, and they also added droplets of each attribute. Previously it was only to 1 attribute depending on the quest that was on for that particular month. And looking at the new exchange shop, this is what you can come to expect, and one of the main reasons why you now want to fund Extreme Co-op is quite simply because of this new shop. So originally, again, large attribute scrolls were not here, so you can now get 50 of each attribute, which is basically enough to get a character to max transcendence, and then the medium and small scrolls were doubled. Originally you could only get 35, it was a very weird number, but again, now you can get enough to basically fully max transcend 1 character just from the material here, which again is nice. It means you can now max transcend more characters per month. In addition to that, you also get 5 essence scrolls, which is kind of crazy. So again, all the materials you get here from Extreme Co-op is enough to basically max transcend 1 more character per month. And if you're not max transcending like 4 characters per month, you're just going to start stacking up on a bunch of the materials to the point where, you don't have to like stress about materials anymore. I don't. I can max transcend whoever I want to because all these items here are great. In addition to that, you can also get a bunch of silver scrolls, a lot of here. Personally, when it comes to farming Chronicle Quest, which we all know is an absolute pain to do so, even with 10 times soul tickets, which we did get last week, it's still kind of a slog to go through because the drop rate isn't the best, and personally I don't really like getting silver scrolls, and I'm always in need of silver scrolls. So the fact that I can now get potentially 400 here is going to be really good for me, just potentially in the future stacking up on a bunch of these silver scrolls to the point that I never have to get it again from Chronicle Quest. You also have a bunch of these stuff. These are summon tickets. Again, these are attribute specific summon tickets, were also doubled. Before you could only get 5 and now you can get 10. They've added a bunch of extra droplets, not too much, but again, you might as well just go for it too. It's an extra 600 of every single attribute, and you can also get a bunch of evolving material if you are a really new player. You can get a book of secrets, evolution powders, and a bunch of power hearts. So this exchange shop received a very, very good update. This right here is definitely now worth pushing in Brave Battles for, and now Extreme Co-op is definitely worth playing. Overall, the last 2 months, these updates that we have been receiving is really, really good. Again, because this is basically tied with the Brave Battle update that we did get. Remember, they increased the amount of rewards you can get. So now in Brave Battles, you can get a bunch of extra stuff. So if you go to the Meadow Exchange, you're now getting significantly more rewards. You can easily buy the 5-star summon ticket. You can get significantly more orbs from Brave Battles. As you can see here, I've now maxed out the entire shop for the orbs, therefore receiving 125 orbs just from Brave Battles this particular month. And I'm pretty sure I maxed that out last month too. And if I really wanted to, I could also just get more small scrolls, which again actually come quite easy. You can get a decent amount for 500 medals. So again, these shops are getting really good. So this exchange shop with the update to Brave Battles and also the fact that Extreme Cop is now worth playing, it's overall made this part of the game significantly better. Brave Battles was a slog to get through. It wasn't really that fun to play because there was no reason to play it for the most part. Now there is. There's a reason to stay in third seat. There's a reason to push in Brave Battles. And now there's a reason to play Extreme Cop thanks to this new update. And if you are wondering, let's just quickly claim all these rewards. How many medals do you actually need to max out the entire shop? So I did some quick maths. I actually don't remember the number on the top of my head, but it is on your screen. I believe it's close to like 17,000 to buy out the entire shop. But you don't need to do that. Realistically, you're not going to buy everything from this shop because, quite frankly, not all the items here are worth buying. Of course, buying all the Transcendence Scrolls and Transcendence Material is going to be worth buying because these are rare items. And I'm absolutely just stacking up a bunch of them because there's a lot of ways now just to get all these items. You have Extreme Cop, Epic Raids, Brave Battles, Chronicle Quests, and also the weekly quest coming through just to give you a bunch of materials that, you know, I'm absolutely set. I'm absolutely set. There's so much to get here. And because you can do 5 times soul tickets, 6 times with the Cons Melinda Pass, it's also very easy to stack up on these medals. You can actually get a lot of them very quickly. The 10k I was on previously was just basically what, like maybe 3 hours of farming. And again, as I mentioned, Extreme Cop is very easily ultable with a good team. There's a lot of people playing Extreme Cop right now, so you can easily get these medals with no stress whatsoever. Sure, it's going to take some extra soul tickets. I believe I spent maybe 200-ish at this point in time, but it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it. Just use a couple of tickets once a week for an entire month and you'll be sorted. You can also excess farm this, so you don't have to farm it next month if you really want to. If you farm enough in this particular month, you can just get a bunch of medals saved up that you can kind of just avoid playing Extreme Cop for a few months, depending on how much you actually farm it. So I finished up buying all the Transcendence Material, and that would cost you around 7,000 medals, which again, you can easily get in basically under 2 hours. Let's also pick up these, because they're definitely worth buying. As you can see here, with around the 200-ish tickets that I did spend, in fact, I think I maybe spent close to 400 tickets. We were also able to get a decent amount of accessory summon tickets. As for anything else in this shop, it really comes down to if you want to buy it. Personally, the things you should be definitely buying is those attribute-specific accessory summon tickets and also all the Transcendence Material. If we have a look at all the summon tickets that we do have, you can see that we currently have around 60 here. Now, as you can see, I did do a small bit of farming for the Heart Extreme Cop and the Mind one a few months back. Haven't used them just yet, and look at the difference. Going through Extreme Cop one soul ticket at a time was just... It was just boring. Very, very boring. And it's just because you know 5 times could easily be implemented here, and you just know it speeds up the process so much. And look at that. This is 1 week of farming in Extreme Cop on the Mind attribute and also the Heart attribute. Granted, I didn't play that much because it was just, you know, 1 ticket at a time. It's just not that fun. With 5 times soul tickets, in 2 hours or 4 hours of farming, maybe around 3 hours of farming, I've already quadrupled what I got on the Mind Extreme Cop. So again, this is definitely a really, really good update to Extreme Cop. It's now definitely worth playing. And if you want to go for accessory summon tickets, it's also worth doing that. For me, I'm missing a few speed accessories. For example, the speed T set, T cup, and also Kamari. So I could potentially get one of those from these summon tickets. I'm not going to use them now. That's going to be really good. Additionally, also Uryu is coming out at the end of the month, so if you do like a speed cape fastener, maybe you do want to farm this just to try and hope to get the accessory for Uryu when he does drop. Or you could also use the human accessory because Uryu is going to be a human Quincy. He can use both. Not at the same time, but he can have access to both of them. So if you can get the spirit stick or a, you know, cape fastener, one of them is going to be good enough to be used on Uryu, and that's going to get your 7th anniversary Uryu more significantly overpowered once he does come out if you do get him. So with that said, hope you guys enjoyed the video breaking down the new Extreme Cop. Again, definitely worth farming. If you haven't already pushed the 3rd seat, make sure you do it next month. It's definitely now worth playing. Brave Battles is worth playing, Extreme Cop is worth playing, and overall, you're just getting a good amount of rewards for the time you're putting in to side game modes. So with that said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.